Here's a match that I had. I was Terran playing random. He was, I was Protoss, rather, and he was Terran. I'm playing random. I let him know which faction I was, and let's see how this one starts out. Nothing too crazy so far. Refinery, barracks. I've got my gateway going there, and I'm scouting with my probe. I was able to get my probe in there before he gets the wall off, but there's really not a whole lot to see. But nonetheless, I'm kind of looking around. I was thinking that I would just build a... I wasn't planning on cannon rushing him, but just to be annoying and just to slow him down, I was going to build a cannon right here for when he does take the natural. He has to deal with that, but he smartly came, saw what I was doing, got me out of there, and I decided to cancel that pylon because that was not going to work. So now we're kind of just into normal build now. I probably should have built a Nexus before I built the pylon and the refinery. He used an SCV to scout my base too, so he got a good look at what I was doing. If I remember correctly on this game, the story was I thought he had a good defensive setup here and a lot of units, and I didn't feel like I could really break in very well. So ultimately, I just let him kind of starve himself out, and I just tried to expand as much as possible. That's one thing I like about Protoss. They can really expand really easily. Terran can too. He just... At this level, it seems like a lot of Terrans don't. They get on one base or maybe two bases, then they stop. So eventually they run out of money, and if I'm on 4 or 5 base, then I'll just win. Let's see, he's got bunker here, bunker here. He's going to bring in siege tanks. It's really hard to break through that, not without something long range, which I address later on in the game. But I don't see that yet, so I'm just running these guys over just to see what he's got. I'm assuming they're not going to get in, but I just wanted to see if he had the siege tanks up yet. I noticed that. I probably should have just ran one in versus running all three. So instead I split these guys up, and I just want them to camp these expansion spots so that I know when he's taking those, if he does. Oh, that's right. He came in just like a lot of Terran players do when they're going with a bio build. He was really getting me pretty good with drops. And see, he's looking to take even a spot further out. Let's see what happens here. This guy should die, though. This is why I had him camping. Maybe? Yeah. And we're just delaying what he's wanting to do. That's why I do it. Does he realize he doesn't have that third base going? Let's watch it from his perspective, see what he was focusing on. I mean, that's pretty good defensive area. I'm on 2 base, he's on 2 base. And I always put at least one cannon in the back of my base just because drops are so common. But he still does a lot of damage. I'm a little slow at getting my probes out of here. But he had a good attack there. So he's just going to fly those guys around and just do another drop later on. He is still supply blocked. Let's see how I'm looking. I was planning on coming in with some charge lots, but there's really nothing I can do about the spot buy as natural, not with those units. Let's fast forward a little bit. He's bunkering up. He never took that third spot. And here I'm just kind of skirting around, just want to see if he's got anything besides his main base and his natural. At this point, what I'm doing here, why it's the deal with all those cannons, is I'm thinking, okay, he's not really pushing out. I could have, you know, a few battle cruisers warp in any second, so I just wanted to make sure that there's a lot of anti-air or stuff around to discourage him from doing that. So I'm just checking all the spots, making sure he doesn't have any sneaky bases hiding. So I don't see anything, so I'm pretty confident that he's on 2 bases still. And here's the thing, I can just decide just to expand. He gets a good drop here, but I'm floating 1,300 crystals. He's floating 2,200. That's just so many. It's just build mass bases if you got that many. Does some damage there, nothing catastrophic, but you know, it hurt. But these are all just little pokes and prods that annoy. They're nothing that's going to be catastrophic. Got this here, he's doing drops. He eventually breaks through them, but all this time that he's wasting and he's taking hits allows me to bring the troops over and try to get some kills or get them out of there. He did get away. And at this point I start taking all my forces and kind of splitting them up in different sections so that I can more quickly rally them to wherever he's starting to do the drops. But I'm just thinking, I don't have to necessarily kill him, I just have to beat him in the expansion game at this point, because he's going to run out of money. I didn't know he took this third finally, which I discover after a bit here. But that's why I'm running these guys out. Little suicide missions just to see, keep checking where he's expanding. And I see that he's got a base down there. Here I'm trying to take this base up here too. That'll be base 5 for me. And I saw on the mini-map there that he's bringing the huge force up in the middle. He's pushing out. So I knew it was coming, thankfully. So I bring all my units, and thankfully I got some units, but Dark Templar also, which he doesn't have detection, which is nice. Let's just watch it from my view so you can see the Dark Templar. He's got a ton of anti-air. Vikings. Tries landing him. Probably a mistake. Probably should have just got out of there. And so we both kind of traded back and forth, but I still have some army left. I probably could have countered, but I'll check that because, yeah, what I have left over isn't going to push through that. I got to find a different way. I either got to do a drop or I got to get, hit him with some long-range artillery type shots. But more than anything right here, I just wanted to get rid of this base. Don't have to kill him, I just got to keep him from being able to expand into where he eventually runs out of money. And he doesn't have any detection for the Dark Templar. I mean, there's a turret there, but no ravens out, so he can't see those Dark Templar. This is a costly one for him. Because the unit counts 104 to 72 right now. And once again, just keep checking, make sure, just keep refining him. I know he'll slowly run out of money. This is almost completely gone. And this is still doing fine. Even upgraded that to Planetary Fortress. Yeah, I really should have tried some drops. Or warp in on the back of his base. He's just simply out of money. Does a scan of my base. I'm on 5 base, he's on 2. And here now I'm taking my army and I'm just starting to split them up, kind of get a surround going. If you look at the mini map, you can see. Just want to make sure you didn't retake that spot. Send this zealot on a suicide mission, and I notice he's still got the siege tanks. So right now is when I thought, okay, I need to bring in some air and long range. But I didn't have what I needed to build all those idle workers there. That's not good. When I saw him scanning as I was building there, I was a little afraid I'd get a push, but it never came. I'm almost 2 to 1. I'm completely maxed out my army. Get rid of that siege tank. Yeah, I mean, his minerals, he's at 280 minerals. He's just running out of money to do things. He tries to do a scan to see my DTs.
Base is under attack.
I needed some anti-air, so I don't have anything really to take those on, so I try to get out of there. And then finally, what I really needed, Tempest. If I can just get vision, I knew I could hit him long range. So I knew he would try to come over and do something about him. but he just doesn't have the army. He's very static.
Base is under attack.
Coming back, and I think at this point I decide to push in, thinking I can pretty much take this. I didn't know they had siege tanks way in the back there, but at this point I think I just have too much, so I just push in. And that's game.